Hi guys, this is walk you guys through your first essay assignment. And this assignment really focuses on your sort of narrative essay. So you guys have read a number of short stories across this unit from different genres, different movements. And what I want you to do is choose one of the stories that you read in this unit, and you're going to develop a written analysis of that work. So you're going to contextualize the analysis by looking at specific literary elements from the course that you've already studied. So characterization, setting, point of view, allegory, anything like that. So you're going to need to create a central thesis argument around that focus and support it with evidence from the text, meaning pull in specific quotes from the text that show or prove your idea. So you have a number of choices here that you guys read throughout the unit, everything from Story of an Hour to the lottery. Like I said, choose one of them so your argument stays nice and narrow and focused. When you're thinking about how to do this, think about the primary literary element you want to focus on. Is it setting? Is it conflict? Is it characterization? What is the argument that you want to make about that literary element? So, for example, if I wanted to talk about symbolism and everyday use, that my central argument might be that that the symbol of the quilt represents everyday average American identity. Or if I wanted to talk about dialogue in Hills Like White Elephants and why dialogue is important in the central plot, in driving the plot in Hills Like White Elephants, that would be my thesis argument. Think about the other elements that the author uses as well. So they don't just use one literary element, but they use, for example, in the lottery, symbolism is rampant throughout the lottery. So their symbols are representative of different things through the lottery. But there's also other elements. So things like dialogue or syntax is really important. The setting is really important. In, say, for example, A and P, characterization is important. In Hills Like White Elephants, symbolism is vital. Things like imagery, settings, motifs, metaphors, all of these things are really significant. But I want you to kind of frame your argument around one central idea or concept. So it could be a theme, for example. You could argue that the theme of everyday use is that functionality is more important than symbolic representation. Or if it was something like A and P, you could argue that the theme is the triviality of American consumerism. So there's a lot of things you could talk about. Think about what the author is trying to say through the story. So what is Chopin really trying to say in The Story of an Hour? She's critiquing the idea of marriage, right? What is Alice Walker saying in Everyday Use? She's critiquing the idea of this nouveau American identity that is false. Or what is Hemingway critiquing in Hills Like White Elephants? He's critiquing the isolationism and the sort of superficiality of Americans abroad. So think about what the message is, and then think about what can you critique about the text. So you as a reader have an absolute right to have an argument if that something in the text works or doesn't work. So what might you critique? So you might think in the Hills Like White Elephants that the character of Jin isn't strong enough. Or you might think in the lottery that the colloquial dialogue detracts from the meaning or makes this regional. Ultimately, you need to include one research resource in your work. So make sure you cite that in the text to use quotes from the resource and then use a bibliography as well. You should have a clear thesis, like I said, and main ideas, and you should expand on those ideas with evidence from the text. So that means that you pull in specific quotes that show your audience what you're talking about. You don't just tell them that symbolism is important in the lottery, you pull a quote that shows that symbolism. So use specific words, phrases, or passages to support your claims. So the essay needs to be 3 to 4 pages in length and is due on Sunday, June 16th at midnight. Minimum page length must be met, so that means to the bottom of the 3rd page minimum. If you write less, I do take off points. Proper MLA formatting is required, so that's double space, Times New Roman, Arial, or Cambria font. 1-inch margins all around with a header in the top left corner, page numbers in the top right, and a title. And a bibliography, of course. And then everything will be checked through SafeAssign. So your essay is going to actually come from 2 things. You're going to be doing an outline, so that'll be worth 20 points on your essay, and your final draft will be 80 points on your essay grade. You're going to be assessed on making sure you have a close analysis of the literary work and its concepts, good evidence to support your claims, meaning quotes from your primary and secondary sources, proper number of sources, MLA with citations, a good essay structure, so meaning you have an intro with a thesis, main ideas with evidence, and a conclusion, and clear organization of your concepts. Some ideas to help you when you're writing this essay, things you can think about. Think about characterization. Think about archetypes, protagonists. Are they secondary characters? Are they developed? Are they flat? Think about any literary devices that you might deem important. So similes, metaphors, personifications, flashbacks. Structure. Think about the dramatic arc. Think about the conflict. Is it man versus society? Think about the point of view of the narrator. Think about literary concepts like themes, symbols, motifs, allusions. And then think secondarily about the historical context. So think about the author and the work and how history or social or ethical or moral issues of the time are shown through that text. So this is purposefully broad because I want you guys to be able to choose the text and the argument or the focus that is most important to you. So what you find easiest to write about is what's going to be most interesting to you. So if you have questions, let me know, but otherwise you guys will have a lot of guidance in developing this out through outlines and different things. So you guys should be pretty well supported.